Hey everyone, welcome to my channel. In today's video, I will be talking about my coziest fall fragrances. Before we get started, if you're new here, welcome. If you're returning, welcome back. Thank you so much. I really appreciate your continued support. If you haven't subscribed yet, please go ahead and hit that subscribe button, hit the like button, and activate that notification bell. Without further ado, let's jump right into this video. As we're heading into deeper fall, the weather is getting chillier. I did a video on transitional fragrances where I talk about fragrances that will take you from summer into early fall. These fragrances are my coziest fragrances for the colder fall weather. And I'm gonna start with Lolitaland by Lolita Lempicka. This has notes of Bellini, there's pepper, orange, there's peach, plum, blackcurrant, jasmine, Madagascar vanilla, licorice, benzoin, and sandalwood. This is a very fruity and sweet fragrance. It smells like a peach Bellini. It's very fuzzy, very warm, extremely sweet. I absolutely love wearing this, especially on cold days. I feel like this one really rips through the cold and it really shines in the cold. It takes away and tones down some of that sweetness. And the licorice is not that prominent to me. It just gives this like a nice spiciness and smokiness, which I like. And this smells so comforting and cozy and fuzzy and warm. I love this fragrance for the cold months. Lolitaland by Lolita Lempicka. This next one I have is Mon Guerlain Intense by Guerlain. And this is a beautiful lavender with a double dose of vanilla. It has Tahitian and Madagascar vanilla, which just add to the sweetness of this fragrance. The lavender here is toned down from the original. This also has a note of licorice, which to me just adds that smokiness, the depth, the richness to this fragrance. The lavender that comes through here is very soothing, very calming. This is a great cozy fragrance. This keeps me really cozy and relaxed, especially in the evenings at home in the cold weather months. I absolutely love this. Again, this is Mon Guerlain Intense by Guerlain. The next fragrance on my list is Armani Coat Satin, and this is by Giorgio Armani. This one has been discontinued, but sometime in the winter, this was back in stock on their Armani website. So you never know, they might bring it back here and there. I'm not sure if it's permanently discontinued. This has notes of ginger, sorbet, pear, orange blossom. There's also vanilla, praline, and cacao, which gives this a gourmand touch. It's like a warm, sweet, delicious dessert. It's gourmand, it's creamy smelling, and it's fluffy. It just makes me feel like I'm cocooned in this warm blanket, and it's sensual at the same time. This is definitely a very cozy experience. I love wearing this in the colder months, and this one does perform really well, and it stays on my skin and it cuts through the cold really nicely. So if you could get your hands on this, I do recommend it. It's such a comforting, beautiful scent. Again, this is Armani Coat Satin by Giorgio Armani. So I have an alternative for you if you can't get your hands on Armani Coat Satin. And this is Loveredose Red Kiss. And this fragrance pretty much smells very, very similar. This could be a dupe. This also has a licorice note. This also has orange blossom. There's praline. It's also gourmand. This smells a lot like the one I spoke about. I think they're great dupes. This is a good alternative to Armani Coat Satin. Loveredose Red Kiss by Diesel. And the next fragrance here is Alien Essence Absolu by Mugler. This is a flanker of Alien. It has the same DNA. It also has the added notes of cashmere wood, vanilla pod, and incense. The vanilla pod in this makes it a little bit sweet. It's not super sweet, but it's just a tad sweeter than the original Alien. To me, in my opinion, this smells more interesting than Alien. You get more than just the jasmine. This is also an andalic jasmine, which is surrounded by vanilla, myrrh, and incense. This is woody, it's warm, it's smoky. There's a rich, deep amber, and it's very cozy and very snuggly. This is a fragrance that makes me want to cuddle with my husband, and it's just making me think of a warm hug on a really cold day. And I adore this one. This is Alien Essence Absolute by Mugler. This next fragrance is Vie Est Belle Intense, and I prefer this flanker to the original Vie Est Belle. I feel like this is deeper, richer, creamier. This has pear, currant buds, there's pink pepper, you get white florals. There's also notes of whipped cream and hazelnut, which give it a very sweet gourmand touch. Sweet, it's decadent, it's very feminine. It's a bit powdery from the iris, it's warm. It's also nutty, it's woody. The whipped cream accord just gives it such a beautiful sweetness and richness and creaminess. And the sweetness from this is also very snuggly, it's warm, it's cozy, especially in the cold weather, because these stronger fragrances, especially sweet smelling, thick, dense fragrances, always perform best in the cold. The cold cuts through them, and I love the scent that I get around me, the scent bubble that I get, the sillage I leave behind, the projection it gives. I love the scent when it's cold out. I love to wear it in the house. I love to wear it on date nights. This is so cozy and delicious. Vie Est Belle Intense by Lancome. The next fragrance I'm going to talk about is Chergui by Serge Lutens. This is really my quintessential fall cold weather fragrance. And for me, it's such a go-to cozy type of scent. This has notes of honey. There's tobacco leaf. It's a very light tobacco leaf. It's not a pipe tobacco. There's amber. There's also hay, incense, sandalwood, there's rose. I also love the color of the juice. This juice portrays the decadence of this scent. It's a very voluptuous, well-rounded composition. It's sweet from that honey, but never cloying, and it has an earthiness from the hay. And it doesn't smell like a barnyard hay. It gives it an earthy quality, which grounds this fragrance. This is so perfectly balanced between the sweet and the earthiness. This makes you think of going pumpkin picking, dressed really warm, wearing a thick sweater. It makes you feel so nice and cozy and warm and fuzzy. I absolutely adore this. Again, this is Chergui by Serge Lutens. My next cozy sweater weather fragrance is Teisenddu by Frassai. I've had this one since last winter. This has notes of dried fruits and nuts, and they're soaked in rum. So it's a little boozy. You get those nuts and the fruits soaked in rum, which give it a booziness and sweetness from the fruits. There's warm spices, leather, and it also lists dark sugar crystals, which give this more sweetness. So this is a sweet fragrance. This is a gourmand. The leather in here is not offensive. It's a very soft, supple leather, sweet, aromatic, slightly boozy, slightly animalic from the leather. Woody. So you have the sweet leather binding these ingredients, and the sugar crystals are on top of this leather, giving it a sweetness and a warmth. And I feel like the leather in here also grounds those other sweet notes and just creates such a beautiful composition. And then it also starts to smell like a baked cookie. It makes me think of a baked sugar cookie. It's absolutely delicious, it's decadent, it's cozy, it's warm, it's inviting, it's cocooning. This really makes me feel like I'm wrapped up in a cozy warm blanket or a shawl. And whether it's super cold outside, inside feeling warm and snuggly. And even when I do go out into the cold, this wears so beautifully in that cold. Again, the cold cuts through it like it does with all the other mentioned fragrances. It brings this composition to life almost. That's what I love about these type of strong, sweet fragrances in the cold weather. This has great performance. This really lasts on my skin for a really long time, and I enjoy this so much. This is Teisenddu by Frassai. The next fragrance in this lineup is Gris Charnel by BDK. This has notes of cardamom, fig, black tea, sandalwood, and tonka bean. The sandalwood gives creaminess to this composition. It's woody, it's warm, it's spicy, aromatic, it's sweet and earthy. It's like having a big mug of hot tea next to you, and you have your hands on it on a cold, chilly day. And you feel really warm inside, you feel cozy. It's enveloping and extremely, extremely cozy. I love the scent for the cold weather. This is a great cozy one for fall, and this is Gris Charnel by BDK. The next one in my lineup might be a surprise to some of you because this is traditionally typically looked at as a summer fragrance, and this is Santal Complet by Fragrance du Bois. This is such a beautiful composition, and it's so warm and inviting. There's coconut, there's sandalwood, vanilla and amber. This is sweet, warm, spicy, woody. It's creamy. It's addictive, it's enveloping, super cozy. It's so warm and fuzzy. I enjoyed this in the hotter weather, but I'm also loving this in the colder weather. This is such a great versatile transitional fragrance. This is one that will take you into spring, into summer, into fall, and then into winter. You can wear it all year round. This is good for every season. You really get your money's worth. I know that these are pricey. You will use this, but it's a good use, especially if you tried this and you do know that you like it. I'm gonna put some on it. I just love the way this smells. And I love how this makes me feel. It makes me feel sensual, but yet cozy. I could totally rock this in a very warm, cozy sweater. And I can rock this in a beautiful summer dress. It has the warmth to it to be worn in the chilly weather. And it also has the coconut, which could be worn in the summer. This keeps me so warm and cozy. This is Santal Complet by Fragrance de Bois. This next one is Poets of Berlin by Wilhelm Perfumery. This fragrance has blueberry, it has lemon, there's bamboo, there's orris, vanilla, sandalwood, and vetiver. And one thing that a lot of these have in common, I noticed, is sandalwood. Sandalwood does bring a very creamy effect to a fragrance, and it gives like a cozy, woody vibe to a fragrance. This is sweet. It's woody, it's fruity, earthy, very creamy and ambery. This fragrance has a very warm and inviting quality. It's very enveloping, very cozy, very fuzzy. The way that this fragrance transitions and journeys on the skin is absolutely beautiful. I absolutely love this composition, and I feel like it's such a cozy, sweet fragrance without being too cloying. Again, this is Poets of Berlin by Wilhelm Perfumery. This next one is La Danza Delle Libellule by Nobile, 1942. Some of the notes here are red apple, there's cinnamon, cedar, vanilla, and this smells like a warm apple pie with the cinnamon, with the apples. It really makes a journey on my skin. It goes from ripe, fresh apples into smelling like apples are baking in the oven with cinnamon sprinkled on top. Smelling very delicious, very gourmand. It's very warm and it's snuggly and cozy and inviting. It's cozy like a warm apple pie. This makes me think of comfort food. It's comforting. Apple pie is definitely a comfort food. I love that for dessert, especially when it's cold out. I like it even more with ice cream on top. And this has that comfort food vibe, which makes this extremely cozy. Extremely wearable during the cold weather. I love wearing this from fall into winter time. This is La Danza Delle Libellule by Nobile in 1942. That completes my coziest fragrances video. Please let me know what some of your coziest fall fragrances are. I would love to know. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you back here soon. Take care.